Have you ever dreamed of remarrying, only to pause and wonder if it's truly the right path? Maybe you've pictured a second chance at love, someone to share your mornings, your quiet evenings, your laughter, but beneath that hope, there's a whisper of doubt. Marriage after 60 isn't the same as it was in your youth. It's not just a new chapter, it's a different book entirely, written with the ink of experience, loss, and a lifetime of lessons. And yet, so many step into it without seeing the truths that linger just out of sight. Truths that can shape your finances, your family, your heart, and the peace you've worked so hard to find. Whether you've been widowed, divorced, or simply walking alone for years, remarriage carries a weight you might not expect. Challenges and joys that ripple through every corner of your life. This isn't about talking you out of love, it's about arming you with clarity. Too often, people leap into remarriage chasing a feeling, only to stumble over complications they never saw coming. But with the right understanding, you can choose a path that brings not just companionship, but fulfillment, stability, and a future you can trust. In this journey, we'll uncover 5 essential truths you need to know before remarrying after 60. Insights that might shift how you see commitment, security, and even yourself at this stage of life. Stay with me to the end, because these truths could be the difference between a decision that lifts you up and one that leaves you longing for what might have been. Let's dive in and explore what remarriage really means, because you deserve a love that fits the life you've built. Truth 1. Money tells a bigger story now. When you're young, marriage feels like a promise of shared dreams, building a home, a family, a future. But after 60, it's also a ledger, a tangle of numbers that can rewrite your plans in ways you never imagined. Love might bring you together, but finances can pull you apart if you're not paying attention. Remarriage isn't just a union of hearts, it's a legal bond that touches your savings, your social security, your legacy. And the stakes? They're higher now, because this isn't about starting over, it's about protecting what you've earned. Think about Linda, 68, from a small town in Colorado. Widowed for a decade, she met David at a community dance. He was kind, funny, and before long, they were talking marriage. Linda assumed it'd be simple, 2 retirees blending their lives. But then she learned her Social Security benefits, tied to her late husband's record, would vanish if she remarried. David had debts she hadn't known about, and her modest nest egg suddenly felt vulnerable. Worse, her son asked, "What happens to the house if you die first?" Linda hadn't thought that far. She'd planned to leave it to him, but remarriage could give David a legal claim. Suddenly, love felt like a math problem she wasn't prepared to solve. That's the reality. Remarriage rewires your financial world. Pensions might shrink, survivor benefits could dry up, and state laws might override your wishes for your kids or grandkids. Even if you keep separate accounts, your spouse's spending habits or old debts become your burden. It's not romantic to talk dollars and cents, but it's real. Linda sat down with a financial advisor and rewrote her will, but it took hard conversations, one she wished she'd had sooner. Before you say, "I do," ask, how will this change my retirement? My benefits? My family's future? Get the answers, because love shouldn't cost you the security you've built. Truth 2. Family ties bend and sometimes break. Remarriage after 60 isn't just 2 people coming together. It's 2 worlds, 2 histories, 2 sets of roots that don't always intertwine as easily as you'd hope. You're not a young couple starting fresh. You're carrying decades of family, adult children, grandchildren, traditions carved deep. And while your heart might be ready, your loved ones might not be. Their reactions, love, fear, resentment, can ripple through your marriage in ways that catch you off guard. Picture James, 71, from a quiet neighborhood in North Carolina. After losing his wife of 40 years, he found Margaret, a widow with a warm smile. He thought his daughters would be thrilled. He was lonely, and Margaret brought light back into his life. But when he announced their engagement, his oldest, Emily, went quiet. Later, she admitted she worried Margaret would replace her mom's memory, that holidays would change, that the inheritance James had promised would shift. His youngest grandkid asked, "Will I still get to sleep over at your house?" James hadn't realized how much his choice stirred their world too. Family dynamics get messy when you remarry later in life. Kids might smile but secretly fret about money or loyalty. Grandkids might pull back if a new grandparent feels like an intruder. And then there's your new spouse's family, their traditions, their expectations. Blending it all takes more than love. It takes time, patience, and talks that might sting. James sat his daughters down, listened to their fears, and promised nothing would erase their mom or their place in his life. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. If you're considering remarriage, don't assume everyone's on board. Ask them. Hear them. Because love shouldn't fracture the bonds you've spent a lifetime building. Truth 3. Love looks different now. When you were 30, marriage was a whirlwind, raising kids, chasing careers, building a life brick by brick. After 60, it's quieter, deeper, less about creating and more about cherishing. You're not molding a future together. You're weaving someone into the one you've already shaped. That shift changes everything. Your needs, your boundaries, your dreams. And if you don't see it, you might step into a marriage that fits who you were, not who you are. Take Ruth, 66, from a seaside town in California. Divorced for 15 years, she'd built a life she loved. Gardening, book club, solo trips to the coast. Then she met Paul, 69, a widower with a gentle laugh. Marriage seemed natural, but Ruth didn't expect how hard it'd be to merge their rhythms. Paul wanted dinners together every night. Ruth craved her quiet evenings alone. He loved hosting friends. She preferred her small circle. They cared for each other, but their versions of love clashed. Ruth realized she didn't want a partner to fill her life. She wanted one to share it, on her terms. That's the truth. Emotional expectations evolve. You're independent now, with habits and a pace that suit you. Remarriage asks you to bend, but how much? Some crave closeness, shared meals, joint adventures. Others want companionship with space, separate homes, separate routines. And then there's the past. Grief, heartbreak, lessons that color how you love now. Ruth and Paul talked it out, settled on living nearby but not together, and it worked. Before you remarry, ask, what do I need from this? Closeness or freedom? Am I ready to shift my life, or do I want them to fit into it? Love at this age is a dance, beautiful, but only if you both know the steps. Truth 4. The law writes its own rules. Marriage isn't just a vow, it's a contract, and after 60, that contract carries more fine print than you might think. It's not just about love or even money. It's about rights, responsibilities, and rules you can't ignore. Wills change, medical decisions shift, and without a plan, your future could look nothing like you imagined. It's not the stuff of romance novels, but it's the backbone of a life well lived. Consider Anna, 70, from a bustling suburb in Illinois. After her husband passed, she met George, a charming retiree. They married quickly, swept up in joy. But when Anna updated her will, she discovered George now had legal rights to her savings, money she'd meant for her grandkids' college funds. Then George got sick, and his kids assumed Anna would handle his care, not them. She hadn't thought about medical power of attorney or how remarriage might override her plans. It wasn't about mistrust, it was about not knowing the stakes. Legal considerations hit harder now. Without a prenup, your assets might not go where you want. A spouse could decide your treatment if you're ill, even if your kids disagree. Anna wished she'd seen a lawyer first, set up a trust, clarified her wishes. It's not unromantic, it's smart. Before you remarry, sit with an attorney. Ask, what happens to my estate? Who decides if I can't? A prenup isn't a wall, it's a bridge to peace of mind. Love should lift you, not leave you tangled in red tape. Truth 5. Happiness isn't what it used to be. When you were young, happiness was a checklist. Wedding bells, a house, kids. After 60, it's softer, richer, less about milestones and more about meaning. You've built your life, your routines, your joys, your quiet corners. Remarriage isn't about completing you, it's about complementing you. And if you don't know what happiness looks like now, you might chase a shadow that doesn't fit. Imagine Walter, 74, from a rural patch in Montana. Widowed for years, he met Clara at a church potluck. She was lively, warm, and he thought remarrying would cure his loneliness. But Clara loved road trips and big gatherings. Walter thrived on his porch, his dog, his solitude. 6 months in, he felt trapped, not because he didn't love her, but because their happiness didn't align. He'd thought marriage would fix him, but he hadn't asked what he truly wanted. Companionship, yes, but with room to breathe. That's the final truth. Happiness shifts with age. For some, it's a partner by their side every day. For others, it's love with independence, shared moments, not shared roofs. Walter and Clara parted amicably, and he found peace in that choice. Before you remarry, pause. Ask, what makes me happy now? Do I need closeness or space? Does this person match my rhythm? There's no wrong answer, just your answer. Because love at this stage isn't about filling a void, it's about honoring the life you've made. Take a moment. Breathe. These 5 truths, finances, family, emotions, law, happiness, they're not here to scare you. They're here to guide you. Remarriage after 60 can be a gift, a chance to laugh again, to hold someone's hand through life's twilight. But it's not a leap of faith, it's a step of wisdom. Too many rush in, eyes on the horizon, and miss the ground beneath them. You don't have to. Maybe you're ready to say, I do, with clarity. Maybe you'll choose a different path, companionship without rings, or the quiet strength of your own company. Whatever it is, let it be yours, rooted in what you value, what you need, what you've earned. Talk to your family, your advisor, yourself. There's no hurry. This is your time, your story. What's one thing you're carrying from this today? Share it in the comments below. I'm here, listening. And if this resonated with you, hit that like button. It's a small way to say this mattered. Subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss what's next. We're building this journey together. Share this with someone who needs it, a friend, a loved one, because these truths deserve to reach every heart ready to hear them. Your support keeps this space alive, inspiring more stories, more clarity, more you. Because you deserve a love that's as real as you are.